Yesterday morning, Good Friday morning, I realized exactly what Zephaniah was telling his 6th century BCE audience, and also, luckily for us, and for all the centuries of people afterwards. These are the words that lit me up. The Lord will rejoice over you with gladness. He will renew you in his love. He will bring you home. What has remained of what sanity I can claim during this past year of COVID and wildfires and an apocalyptic day of darkness and revelations again of gross racial inequities and an election in aftermath unwitnessed before in our national history? What has preserved my sanity is prayer. Morning prayer with Alameda neighbors in my backyard, evening prayer with West Virginia friends on Wednesdays, and of course, prayer with St. Paul friends Wednesday mornings, evening Compline, and on Sunday morning in Eucharist. The sentence of Zephaniah's passage that especially touched me was, "The Lord will bring you home." Yesterday morning, praying with my Alameda neighbors was with only one neighbor, Lyle. But no matter. We were set up one more time in my square yard of a yard, distanced far enough from my new back doors and shed doors so that we would not be in the way of the workers who were finishing the installation. Being farther back in my square yard of yards brought Lyle and me closer to the elementary school right in back of my condo. Mrs. Teacher of classroom number 24 was close to us, talking to her children on her computer from the grass and the sun of the schoolyard. The day before, she and her class were processing by with masks and 6 feet of distance. In front of my condo, other workers were finishing up on my new carport as other workers began work on other condos and carports. It was a busy and noisy 8:10 a.m. And Lyle and I were praying in the middle of all that work going on in the world. As we worked our way through the readings and prayers for Good Friday's morning prayer, it hit me. We were praying in the midst of life, just where praying should be. Not cloistered in a bit of embarrassment for doing something we loved in a world that is secular and finds us a tad weird, but right in the middle of life anyway. We were doing our job praying for all the people around us, for the construction workers, for the teachers, for the children, for our invisible neighbors doing their online work inside, for those people who are now flying wherever in the planes that soared above us, for our church friends of Christ Church Alameda and St. Paul's Walnut Creek. We were centered in our world, yet we were home. God had brought us home to where we needed to be praying in the midst of the world where we lived. Being in prayer with so many friends over the last year has kept me sane, but also more attentive. It has made me more aware of the birds of the air who use the airspace between my neighbor's place and mine as a fly-through zone and speedway. It made me aware of the black phoebes that are nesting in the vent of the school and who are now so unnerved by the children's return. Of the butterflies and hummingbirds that are taking advantage of all those springtime slurpees called flowers. I am aware of the delicate white and yellow and red and purple flowers with their strong scent, and how much more fragrant they are at about 8 or 9 p.m. as that fragrance wafts into my home. Prayer has centered me at home. I have not been cloistered in COVID at all. I have been out in the world all the time, right at home. And praying has made me conscious of it, brought me to my home center, made me at peace in it. Amen.